that brings us to Mike Renner's favorite player in the history of organized football, Riley Leonard, transfer from Duke. Mike, let me ask you this. Do you feel better going into 2024 with Riley Leonard, or do you feel better going into 2023 with Sam Hartman?
Riley Leonard, for sure. And not only him, receivers around him, new OC, but like I worried about Hartman coming from that Wake Forest system. So
okay, interesting. All right, so you start things off. You're the Notre Dame alum. You have high hopes for this team. Mark Freeman's done a lot of good stuff in a short amount of time, it feels like, and now they have a quarterback in Riley Leonard who's a good athlete. Also, he's a basketball player, not a baseball player like Connor Weckman. And what are your thoughts on Riley Leonard coming to Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think he's the best athlete we've discussed so far in terms of his movement skills, in terms of his ability to create on his own. He can legitimately win as a runner if you want to feature him in that role. Big dude, 6'4", 220, fine arm, NFL caliber for sure, but he doesn't have, I wouldn't describe it as a plus arm by any means, but he's twitchy. He's twitchy not only like as a runner, but in the pocket, getting from like 1 to 2 to 3. It happens quickly. It happens on time. He doesn't take sacks, doesn't take those negative plays, doesn't really put the ball in harm's way. A really good decision maker with the football. Just was really hampered by the talent around him. The fact that they didn't have guys that could get down the football field. He's just trying to keep his head above water in a lot of those games that you see on his schedule. And then 2 ankle surgeries since September, played a bunch of the last season with a bum ankle. So hard to really evaluate from that tape. I think go back to his sophomore year, 2022, and he looks a little bit better.
I agree. I liked his 2022 tape better than his 2023 tape, Rick, but he was injured last year. What are your thoughts on my favorite player a year ago, Riley Leonard?
Yeah, well, you can look at 22, 23. Look at whatever the hell you want, Ryan. I still have my opinion that differs from yours. I will not deny this kid's athleticism. Out of all the guys we talked so far, he is the best athlete. I think he's more of an athlete trying to play quarterback than he is a quarterback right now. I think if you watch that Notre Dame game now, the interior of the Duke's offensive line just got manhandled by Notre Dame up front, and he was running for his life. But I think he looks at the rush more than he does keeping his eyes down the field. I do think he has arm talent. I do question his accuracy. I do question his decision-making at times, but he does show flashes. But I would like to see him more poised in the pocket. And again, he was getting hit a lot in the games that I watch, and so I can understand the hesitation. But I think he needs to learn how to get through his progressions better and learn how to play quarterback. The physical skills are there. The arm talent is there. It's the other part of playing quarterback that needs to develop, and hopefully that does at Notre Dame.
No, I agree with that, and sort of what Mike said as well. He's a basketball player playing quarterback right now, and he's learning on the job. He was injured last year. I want to see, now that he's in a new offense with quote-unquote better players around him, I want to see if he can start throwing the ball with some anticipation, something he didn't do last year, in part because he was maybe didn't trust it, and also because he was running for his life. But that's sort of the next step for me that I want to see, in addition to all the things you talked about. Mike, I'll let you do the comp because I got a surprise for Rick with my comp and draft range for O'Reilly.
My comp was Jalen Hurts, just because the rushing ability is such like a selling point. It's such a big aspect of why I have him as my 5th quarterback in this class. And then I think they're things to build off of otherwise. Draft range, though, I think he was a late day 2 if he would have come out. I mean, with that ankle injury, there was never him coming out. So I'd be surprised, though, if he pushes his way all the way into the first round. I think we've kind of hit the guys who I feel good about, like making that first round push, but I wouldn't put it out of the question. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Never say never, Mike. I mean, got to keep the faith for the old Golden Domers. Let me tell you how to root for Notre Dame. Rick,
I'll say never.
It's funny. Last September, when I was talking to Riley Leonard, I was talking to a scout, and he goes, look, if he's an athlete. Basically, all the things we said, he said maybe he goes in the 3rd round if the team falls in love with him, but he's just not there yet. And, he has another year. Hopefully he's healthier, and he can build on what he did the last few years. All right, Rick, who's your comp for Mr. Leonard?
You ready for this one? Desmond Ridder. I had some accuracy issues with Desmond when he came out. He was a good size. He ran 4.5s at the combine. I think Riley will do every bit of that. So I'm going based off an estimated speed. And the reason I said that too was because I thought Desmond Ridder had accuracy issues coming out. I think this kid has accuracy issues.
Do you think he gets drafted around the same time Desmond did?
Yes. Yeah,
So-
I had him in the 3rd, 4th round.
All right. Well, hold on to your wig there, Rick, because my comp for Riley Leonard was Des Ridder too.
No, come on. Quit looking at
No
your
dollar bet
cheating.
needed.
Yeah. What does that do for your
Producer
confidence?
Harry, do not give him the answers. It's much better when he comes up with his comps on his own.
I sent my answers in before you did, I believe. So that's maybe you're cheating off my paper. Now that would be something.
Yeah, that would be something.
All right, games to circle for Notre Dame and Riley Leonard. They're playing Florida State on November 9th, and they're at USC late in the season. So this will be a big season for Riley Leonard. Hopefully he can take that next step.